And thanks for joining us again on the Jewish Fake News channel, brought to you by the Sheker V'Chazov legal team. Sheker V'Chazov, where MS is a four-letter word. We have late-breaking word that President Trump has just pledged that he will give up tweeting permanently. He says that this is a severe addiction, almost like a drug, and it is time to stop. And wait, now I'm being told that he has already broken his pledge. He has sent another tweet just 76 seconds into the pledge, and the tweet says, quote, "I would have broken this even sooner, but my hands were shaking too hard from the withdrawal, and I could not press send." And actually, we're told that this broadcast is being wiretapped by former President Richard Nixon. I'm sorry. Yes, I know that Richard Nixon is deceased. No, I'm not paranoid. He's wiretapping our newscast. In other news, a popular shul in Flatbush is battling the epidemic of cell phones in shul. Harav Imal Checker says that despite his best efforts, some mispalim are still not using their cell phones during Chazaras Hashatz, and a few have even been spotted davening at that time, even though Chazaras Hashatz is clearly the perfect time to check your email. To battle this tragic situation of people having kavanah during davening, Rav Imal Checker has gotten rid of all the shul sidurim and replaced them with smartphones, yet some people continue to have the chutzpah to bring their own sidurim and sneak them into shul. Feeling they have no other choice, Askanim have asked Verizon to sponsor a special box outside the shul where people can deposit their sidurim and take a cell phone instead. In other news, the Nasi Shidduch program, led by Harav Meshadich Tinoikim, has announced it still supports President Trump. Despite the many scandals surrounding his administration, they say they cannot help it. They just love his slogan, "Make America Date Again." Rav Meshadich Tinoikim also has announced a new initiative to get boys to date at an extremely young age, saying that Nasi will now give out extra nash at pirchei groups to any boy who brings along his kala. A large yeshiva has announced a cutting-edge new fundraising campaign. Harav Oyev Kesef says that corporate sponsors will be renaming different parts of his yeshiva, similar to the local sports stadiums. The Beis Medrash will now be called the PNC Bank Talmudic Center. The wall on the yeshiva's southern border will be known as the Trump Wall, although it will actually be paid for by Mexico. Lunch will now be served in the Holy Schnitzel Dining Hall, and the yeshiva is requesting that from now on, when people want to get rid of the freezer, they should no longer call it the freezer, but they should say, "Please get rid of the PC Richard and Son freezer." Jackson Township has announced a new ordinance that will ban any home with a mezuzah. Council leader I Detest Yidden says the ordinance will ban all houses that have mezuzahs on their doors, regardless of level of hiddur. When asked about the blatant anti-Semitism of this despicable ordinance, officials explained that it does not target Jews at all, because the ban on mezuzahs applies equally to every house in Jackson. And if Christians, Muslims, or Sikhs want to place mezuzahs on their doors, they will be equally subject to the same ban. Grada, the only people who use mezuzahs happen to be Jews, but that's pure coincidence, and that has nothing to do with the reasoning behind the ban, so it's not anti-Semitic. They say the proof that the ordinance is not anti-Semitic is that all the people behind the ordinance are themselves Jews. And now it's time for our awards segment, brought to you by PricewaterhouseCoopers. And the award for Best Yeshiva goes to... Wait, 1 second. This is not the award for Best Yeshiva. This is the award for Best Rosh Yeshiva. That was already given out. Stop tweeting. Pay attention. This is embarrassing. We're on Matzav. We're being seen by millions of people. And finally, the first Tochter, Ivanka, has announced that she, the first Eidim and the first Einaklach, will be taking a vacation to Florida on Shushan Purim. They'll be flying coach on Spirit Airlines Flight 803, and they'll be renting a 2005 Hyundai with a phonograph record player. And they have asked that if anyone in North Miami Beach has extra space in their basement, they would love a place to stay. And that's the news. Thanks for watching this edition of Fake Jewish News, sponsored by Sheker V'Chazov. See you next week when we'll be back with the real Jewish news on Matzav.com and the JewishNewsChannel.com.